It scratches at night. When Megan and Daniel moved into the weathered Victorian house in upstate New York, they called it a fresh start. The kind of house with creaky floors, antique doorknobs, and just enough charm to forget the cracks in the ceiling. It had been on the market for years. Too many years. A fixer-upper, the realtor had said, smiling too much. And it was. Especially at night. The first sound came on their third evening, faint, but unmistakable. A light scratching, like tiny nails raking down wood. Daniel thought it was raccoons. "We're basically living in a treehouse," he joked, climbing into bed. But Megan wasn't laughing. "It was inside," she whispered. "In the walls?" She nodded. The next night the sound returned. Louder. Closer. This time, Megan got out of bed, pressed her ear to the wallpapered wall of their bedroom, and froze. There it was, breathing. Slow, raspy, human. A breath too heavy to be an animal, too wet to be wind. They called pest control the next day. The man showed up in a van that looked like it had seen war. "Rats, maybe. Or squirrels. Happens in these old houses," he said, shining a flashlight into a vent. "But if you're hearin' breathin', well, that's new." He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "I'll set traps. Call me if anything shows up." That night, the scratching began again. Louder than before. Faster. Frantic. And then, a voice. It came from the wall behind the headboard. A dry, desperate whisper. "Help me!" Megan screamed. Daniel punched the wall in blind panic. Plaster cracked. Dust fell. And the voice laughed. Not a full laugh, but the kind that lives between pain and madness. Then silence. They didn't sleep that night. Nor the next. Megan started noticing things. Photographs turning upside down. Cabinet doors left open. Her phone alarm going off at 3:07 a.m. every night, a time she hadn't set. Daniel began sleepwalking. Megan found him standing in the hallway, nose almost touching the wall, whispering something under his breath. She dragged him back to bed, but he remembered nothing the next morning. One night, Megan had enough. She took a hammer and began smashing through the drywall in the living room where the sounds were loudest. What she found wasn't insulation. Behind the wall was a small cavity, large enough for a person to crouch. Inside it were scratches, deep, gouged claw marks in the wood, and words carved in shaky letters. "Still here." And beneath that, smaller, freshly carved. "Soon you will be too." Megan stumbled back, heart hammering. That night, she made Daniel pack a bag. She didn't care where they went, a hotel, her sister's house, anywhere. But Daniel didn't want to leave. "I can't," he whispered. "It wants me here." His eyes looked wrong. Sunken. Distant. "I hear it. In the walls. It's not angry. It's lonely." Megan screamed at him, tried to shake him back to reality. He didn't budge. At 3:07 a.m., he disappeared. She found his slippers by the basement door. It was open. Her legs shook as she descended into the dark, flashlight in hand. The air was thick with rot. The basement was cold, too cold for August. "Daniel?" she whispered. A whisper answered back. "Help me." But it wasn't his voice. She turned to run, but something grabbed her ankle. Cold fingers. Sharp nails. She kicked and scrambled back up the stairs. She never saw Daniel again. The police searched. The house was combed over. No sign of him. They labeled it a disappearance. He ran off, they said. Stress. Mental break. But Megan knew better. She moved out. The house stayed empty. 4 months. Until someone else moved in. A couple. Newlyweds. They lasted 1 week. Then the neighbors started hearing scratching again. Thank you for watching, but beware, some stories never truly end.